All right, welcome back to another episode of the ASN Ranking Show. Today we're taking a look at Class 5A for Week 4. Excited to be here and do this once more right here on this Thursday. There's actually a 5A game tonight. It'll be Parkview versus Hot Springs. We'll talk about that one shortly after we get done with talking about our rankings. But for now, go ahead if you haven't and subscribe to us on YouTube. Like the video, share the video with any 5A football fans. Follow us on X, Instagram, and Facebook as well if you haven't already. And we are going to go ahead and get into these rankings here. So, number one, Parkview. Not much of a surprise. Prior to their loss to Bryant, they looked like the most impressive team in the state. Everybody thought they might be the most impressive team with the state up there with the Greenwood Bulldogs. And just that's a really fun team to watch, really entertaining team to watch. Coach Bolding does a terrific job. Of course, a couple of players to note: Monterio Elston, Amarian Robinson, um, Cameron Settles. Just a lot of electric playmakers. A couple hogs, and a Sooner and a Wildcat. So some really talented players at Parkview, even in the next couple of years. Number two, Robinson, the Robinson Senators, and Coach Todd Escola. Um, that's a program that has a lot of history, three state titles, I believe. For that program, Coach Escola always has them in a good spot in their class every year. This year in the 5A, they were able to get some impact transfers. We'll talk about another team on down in the rankings that had some help from transfers as well. But Robinson has really benefited from that, and they are on a roll so far this season. Number three, Camden Fairview. Camden Fairview, um, they're a team that's has a lot of history as well. Of course, Buck James was there for some time and had a lot of success there, and now they are rolling in the 5A once again. They are at our number three spot um, with Coach Vaughn over at Camden Fairview. Number four, the Lakeside Rams. Of course, can't talk about Lakeside without talking about Grady Oman. Grady Oman has been a machine for Lakeside in the first few weeks, and they are just absolutely dominating a lot of teams that they've played. Of course, that game against Sheridan, they put up 56 points. I believe the score was 56 to 27, and Grady Oman just dominated like he has every single week. Uh, Really fun team to watch, really fun player to watch. That's why Lakeside is at number four. Number five, the Valley View Blazers and Coach Sean Cockrell. That's a program that has a lot of history as well. A lot of really storied programs in Class 5A. And Valley View in that Jonesboro area in northeast Arkansas, they are pretty successful year in and year out, and they make our top five this week. Number six, the Maumelle Hornets and Coach Brian Maupin. Um, they have some really talented players. One of the players that they had transferred in to note is Josiah Warrior Benson from Central Arkansas Christian. He's been a terrific receiver for the Hornets, and he was a terrific receiver last season. And of course, Andrew Bjork at quarterback has had a fantastic season as well. Had a little bit of a hiccup playing against Parkview earlier this season, but other than that, Maumelle has looked pretty good so far. The Win Yellow Jackets and Coach Clay Toddy. This is a team that's obviously still recovering from some damage to their facilities and their town from that tornado so many years ago. Um, Actually, it wasn't too long ago, but it was short enough a time ago that they're still dealing with those issues. But Coach Toddy has brought that team um, right where they need to be, back into the top 10. He's a fantastic coach. He had He's had a lot of success everywhere he's been pretty much, and so no surprise to see the Win Yellow Jackets in that spot. They were one of my dark horse contenders to make it to the 5A title game this season, and at number 7, there they are. Number 8, the Morrilton Devil Dogs and Coach Cody McNabb. This is a program that has produced some talented players. Most notably, of course, is Jacoby Criswell, who's a quarterback at North Carolina now, former four-star prospect, I believe. And they are right back to their successful ways, making it to number 8 in our top 10 this week. Number 9, the Harding Academy Wildcats. They had a tough loss to Marion that bumped them down a few spots, but Coach Evans and Owen Miller will have that team back on track in no time and back on the championship push in no time. Of course, jumping into conference play, their first time playing in Class 5A. So we're going to see how Harding Academy adjusts to playing in Class 5A this season. Also, of course, had a tough loss to Benton last week. At number 10, Pine Bluff. Life without Courtney Crutchfield has not been too hard on the Zebras. They're back in the top 10. We'll see if they can make a nice playoff run again this season. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into the games this week. Of course, Parkview versus Hot Springs tonight should be an entertaining one. Parkview's at 2-1. Their only loss was to the Bryant Hornets, and Hot Springs at 1-2. I'm going to pick Parkview to get the victory tonight, just like they did last season. Should be an entertaining ball game with a lot of offense for both teams. Looking at our Friday games now, we'll start with Farmington versus Pea Ridge. Farmington has started 1-2 with head coach Tommy Tice at the helm. Um, they have they have a very experienced coach. They have a lot of resources being in Northwest Arkansas. Um, Pea Ridge has struggled to start the season. I'm going to pick Farmington to get the victory in this one and get their record to 500. Watson Chapel versus Robinson. Watson Chapel's a program that has struggled the past few years. Robinson is a team that is ranked number 2 in our rankings and probably in a lot of others as well, just below Parkview. So I'm going to give Robinson the victory in this game tomorrow. How about Arkansas High versus Magnolia? Magnolia, a team under Coach Kirby, they've had some success in the beginning of the season in non-conference play. They started their season 2-1. I'm going to pick Magnolia to get the victory once again. Arkansas High has started their season 0-3 under Coach Outlaw. I'm going to pick Magnolia to start conference play with a win. Nettleton versus Batesville. Batesville 0-3. They have a couple of losses this season to I know for sure they've lost to Southside Charter, and they've lost to Newport. So some really exciting stuff from Nettleton happening. They're in that Jonesboro area. A lot of talented schools in that area, so you have to keep up. But Nettleton has held their own. I'm going to give Nettleton the victory in this one just because they have had some success at the beginning of the season, and Batesville has struggled, even though Batesville has played some very tough competition, and they don't get a break playing Nettleton this week. Hope versus DeQueen. Hope has started their season 0-3. DeQueen has started their season 2-1. DeQueen they got a victory a couple games ago over Lafayette County. That was a 1-point win. They also have a win over Horatio, but they did lose to Mina. So a tough, just a tough loss at the beginning of the season for DeQueen. I'm going to give the victory to Hope, though. I think that Hope will bounce back and they will have a better season than they've started with. And I think they're going to get the victory over DeQueen in this game. Greenbrier versus Morrilton. This should be a fun one. Morrilton ranked in our top 10. Greenbrier has a win over a really talented Warren team out of Class 4A, but did lose to Russellville a few weeks ago, but they bounced back and got a victory in their most recent game. Morrilton has started the season 3-0. They're probably in a lot of people's top 10 in Class 5A. And has, excuse me, Coach McNabb has that team rolling early and often this season. I'm going to give the edge to Morrilton just because it is at Morrilton. That's a tough place to play, and I'm going to give the victory to Morrilton in a very, very close game. If it was at Greenbrier, it might swing the other way, but because it's at Morrilton, I'm going to give the Devil Dogs the win. Searcy versus Whitehall. Searcy has started their season 2-1. Whitehall has started their season 0-3. Tough start for Coach Patton with the Whitehall Bulldogs, but I'm going to give the victory to Cersei in this one, and Whitehall's struggles will likely continue unless they come out and play a fantastic game, which they're perfectly capable of. Coach Patton's a fantastic coach, has a lot of state titles. We'll see how both of those teams perform tomorrow, but I'm going to give the victory to Cersei for the time being. Pine Bluff versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville, under head coach Eric Allen, looks improved, but Pine Bluff is a team we have ranked in our top 10. They're a tough team every year. I'm going to give the victory to Pine Bluff in this game, especially because of just how athletic that team is year in and year out. It's hard to compete with Pine Bluff, and Jacksonville does host this game. So they might have an edge there, but I'm going to give the victory to Pine Bluff in a game that could be close. But Pine Bluff has a lot of talent, so I'm going to give the victory to the Zebras. Wynn and Brooklyn. Wynn is a team, of course, we have ranked in our top 10. Brooklyn is an interesting story. That program, that football program, has not been around too terribly long, um, but they've started their season 3-0. They're going to host Wynn this week. I think that game could be a close one as well, but I'm going to give the victory to Wynn, the Yellow Jackets, and Coach Toddy this week. Lakeside versus Camden Fairview. How about this one? Number 4 and number 3 in our rankings. Two teams that have fantastic coaches and fantastic programs that have been built there. I am going to give the win to Lakeside. I think Grady Oman is one of the more talented players in this classification, so I am going to give Lakeside the victory in that game. Harding Academy versus Greene County Tech. Greene County Tech has struggled to open the season. Harding Academy has struggled a little bit, more than usual at least, but they've played some higher classification talent. Of course, they're one of the smaller, if not the smallest school in Class 5A. I'm going to give Harding Academy the victory in this one, and I'm going to say that they get to 500 with a win to start conference play. Maumelle versus BB. Maumelle, such a talented team with all the transfers they were able to bring in. They really utilized that. So for that reason, I'm going to give Maumelle the victory in this game, in a game that could be close, especially because it's at BB. Valonia versus Clarksville. Valonia with Coach Clint Ashcraft. He's a fantastic coach. He's had success at everywhere he's been. Valonia has started their season 2-1, and I predict they will start their season 3-1 and get the victory over Clarksville this week. Alma versus Harrison. Alma, a team with a lot of history. Harrison, the same way. Harrison has started the season 0-3 under Coach Keelan. Alma has started the season 2-1. I think this one will be close just because of how historic both of those programs are and how much tradition they have. I'm going to give the slight edge to Alma. A very close game, I think, but I think that Alma, because they've had success earlier this season, is going to have the momentum, and they're going to go into Harrison, a very tough place to play, and get a slight victory in that game. Paragould versus Valley View. How about Paragould starting this season 3-0, and Valley View right up there with them as well at 3-0. I'm going to give the victory to Valley View in this one. Paragould has played pretty well to start in non-conference play, but Valley View has come out and had another fantastic season under Coach Cockrell. And for that reason, I'm going to have to give the win to Valley View in this one. They're going to start their season 4-0 in my book. So, a lot to talk about with Class 5A, a lot to keep up with, and some really, really talented teams. Looking forward to a lot of these games. Of course, Paragould and Valley View that we just talked about will be a good game. Camden Fairview versus Lakeside, probably the 5A game of the week. So, really, really exciting games happening this week. Looking forward to seeing how these games shake out. But for now, I'm Carson Ward signing off. This has been ASN Rankings Show. We will be back with Class 6A and 7A shortly.